Good morning, YouTube. We've covered a lot of Stellantis stuff, how they're failing miserably in the United States with their Dodge, Ram, Jeep, Fiat, they own all those brands, Maserati, some others. They do them well here.
Right, no.
And they've gotten rid of the Hemi. We complained about that endlessly. They've canceled some cars that we didn't think needed canceled.
Right.
They spent $1 gazillion on the marketing of Twister, which we saw. And you can't even buy the vehicles that they're showing in Twister because they discontinued the Ram TRX and then, well, it's $100,000 what's left of them. So
right. The movie did really well, though, in the box office.
Right. But
yes.
There are talks of some dramatic things happening.
Well, they need something dramatic to happen.
One of the big issues they're dealing with is quality. Huge quality problems because the cars are getting more and more complicated. Engineered design, some things in Italy, some things in the US, some things built in Mexico. It's just a lot going on. And they're very complicated cars. And the issues with like the very fancy ones, like the Wagoneers, are endless and insane.
Right.
And, way too expensive and getting terrible ownership reviews from people. But Dodges showing up from Mexico like packed with dirt and damaged, and they're so dirty you can't see the damage until you wash them off, and it's a huge mess.
Right. Okay.
Huge mess.
So what are they going to do? What are they going to do to fix this?
Well, they need to turn around the quality first, like I was talking about. That's one of the things that Carlos Tavares, Tavares. He's a 65-year-old Portuguese businessman or CEO of Stellantis. He's saying things are going great in Europe. We're on cruise control. We got it all figured out.
Right.
In the U.S., we don't know what we're doing. We have to figure it out.
There's a lot of potholes.
But one thing that they're talking about, which would be interesting, is getting rid of, killing some brands entirely. So,
like complete car brands.
Right.
Just
go away in the U.S. Get Fiat out of the U.S.
Okay.
Get Alfa Romeo, which I thought they were gone, but apparently they're not.
Right.
Get rid or sell Maserati.
No. What?
So the rumor is that Maserati is for sale. And Maserati has struggled lately. I was looking for sales numbers. They quit disclosing their sales figures in the U.S., as far as I could find, 3 or 4 years ago, because they just don't want you to know.
Right.
And
most
recently...
Can they do that? Are they allowed to do that? Isn't it publicly...
Global sales are listed. If you take a look at global sales, 6,500 cars in the first half of 2024. That is a drop of over 50%.
Right.
They recently had the MC20 that has come back, which is a mid-engine supercar. A car that they thought would be a great trickle-down for people to buy the rest of their models. To get, I want a Levante, I want a Ghibli, because they have this beautiful mid-engine supercar. But no, they're already selling those for under their MSRP. You can find them anywhere. They're depreciating like crazy.
Right. Well, it's sad because Maserati is like a heavy hitter. Like the name just carries a lot of weight and history to it. And now it just...
Roll back that. What did you call it?
Maserati is...
The Maserati? What'd you say? What'd you call it? Did you hear it?
A heavy hitter?
No, you called it something else. I'm sorry, I heard something else, like a I don't know.
Maserati is... Maserati?
I'm sorry, but...
Maserati?
Yeah, Maserati used to be something that was considered special.
Yeah.
Like, ooh, that's cool. It's a Maserati. Now, when someone buys a Maserati, you laugh at them. And if it's a used Maserati, you assume that it's somebody that bought it cheap and made really bad choices. And I say that as a multiple Maserati owner. Like, I had a Ghibli, and it was a disaster. I had a Levante, it was a disaster.
Well, using a car that you owned was a disaster isn't that big of a thing, because a lot of your cars are disasters.
Well, yes. But I'm buying the end of the line of these things.
Right.
They're not that old. They're not even 10 years old, and they're dead at 80,000 miles. They are absolute supreme junk. Maserati's big claim to fame was they were Ferrari-derived engines. Ferrari built them for Maserati, but they quit doing that because Ferrari's expanding their lineup. They're making more affordable cars now. They don't want people to go to the lesser Maserati. They want them to buy a Ferrari Roma, whatever the California replacement is. They want them to buy the new Paris Wong, whatever SUV name is, Paris Wong, whatever the hell it's called.
Right.
They don't want them buying a Levante, so they're like, find your own engines.
Right. Well, is there a company that could kind of like resurrect this and make it cool again?
Well, that's the thing. What would you do? So you are, say, a billionaire sultan of whatever country thing where you want to buy a brand.
Yes.
And Maserati is for sale for the mere price of whatever. pocket change to you. You know,
Right.
whatever. This happened a lot in the 90s with Lamborghini. I don't know what happened to Ferrari, but Lamborghini traded hands to a bunch of different people like this, and Volvo changed hands from Swedes to end up with Chinese. There's a lot of brands that have
Right.
gone this way. So if Maserati ends up in the hands of some sultan,
Right.
what could they do? They make it worse. But what could they do to not make it worse?
I mean, obviously the quality is better, but then I would just really, really pump up that one hero car, that one concept car that could just completely beat. What's the fastest car right now? Like the new Bugatti.
The tourbillon.
The tourbillon. Like just kind of put that like in the dirt, bury it, maybe hire, you know, Aquaman, Jason Momoa, you know, with the tridents. And just have Jason Momoa maybe with his shirt on, maybe without his shirt on, and just kind of cool driving the car, doing that speed test, like in the desert down there. And just like, I'm just envisioning, are you envisioning with me? Because let's do this together.
If I was envisioning Jason Momoa with a shirt off, you'd probably be concerned. I'd be like, So you would bankrupt Maserati like a sultan.
Right. Well, what would you do if you had endless money?
Well, and I wanted to not lose my endless money and make this a giant money pit. Well, let's see. First of all, the engines, I would go back to the old school, most certainly. And it would have to be some dinosaur of a motor. Like, oh my God, they are bringing back a V12 of some kind.
Right.
That would be really cool. Some basic, you know, Pagani Zondas, like old school architecture of like, this is an engine that we retired in 1492. We're modernizing, we're bringing it back. Listen to this noise.
Right.
And it is the best sounding Italian V8 or V12 anyone has ever heard.
Right. Okay, I get
Ferrari
you.
canceled us. They're building twin turbo crap anyway. It doesn't sound. Listen to this.
Ooh, okay. I'm on board with this. I get it.
Screw the Ghibli.
Right.
Screw the Levante.
Yeah.
It's going to be much more higher end, I feel like. And no, I'm not going to go electric. We're going backwards. We're going Grenadier, but we're going for the guys at Monaco that are still smoking cigarettes as they're driving their car. You know, like, we're going for that ultra rich, I don't want any of this new crap.
Right.
And go backwards. Deep, pillowy seats, tufted like the old Maserati bi-turbos or whatever. Switch panels, switch gears and everything, because like the software, you know, is terrible in Maseratis. Go back to everything being mechanical, levers and everything else. Make it a mechanical, just like machine of Italian engineering excellence.
Right.
It could be individual throttle bodies again. It could be like engineering excellence.
I really hope somebody is listening that can buy Maserati and do this, because that's actually fantastic idea. Are the generations younger than us gonna dig it? I don't know, but I feel like, you know, everyone like 30 and up is gonna be like, oh yeah, that's the greatest thing ever. That will save it.
Right. So you go to Pininfarina and say, design me the most beautiful lineup of all time. This is the most beautiful architecture ever. That is sort of a retro throwback to the 80s, like Primo Crazy, Testarossa, Countach, that kind of look. The Maserati Quattroporte of that era was very blocky and crazy looking. Something like that.
Right.
Holy crap. And starts out at around Bentley level, $200,000, say, like a Bentley Continental GT. But they're going electric, they're going twin turbo V8. No. Our base one is going to be this V8, and then the V12 is the crazy one. You could make an SUV to go after, say, the Rolls-Royce Cullinan and just kick its butt in Italian class and just amazingness.
I think there's an opportunity there.
You know, forget about the peasants and the Ghibli leasing. Poof, poof. Yuck.
So are we still having Jason Momoa or no Jason Momoa?
I don't think so. Okay. We reanimate Ricardo Montalban to like fine Corinthian leather, even though he's not Italian or whatever, but something like that. The Marble Man, you know, that kind of the most interesting, the Dos Equis Man type.
Right.
Yes.
Okay.
I think those are all Hispanic actors that I just basically
What about
listed,
a girl? Or does that deter men from buying cars if a girl's... I remember I was shooting, what was it, for the Nissan Juke. Way back then for Maxim magazine, we were doing an ad, and they were like, you can't even touch the steering wheel because they didn't want people to think girls, that was their target market. So I had to be in the passenger seat, and also I couldn't even touch the steering wheel. That's how specific they were about their marketing. Would that turn a guy off if a girl was pushing a car?
I'm just shocked because I didn't think Nissan even thought or cared about marketing anymore, or anything based on their quality of product and based on their marketing, which is just so atrocious. You'd think that they're just,
Right.
that's surprising. But think about it, like guys obsessed with old mechanical watches and old things, and just if they did that, if they just went back and said, we are flipping the table over, starting over from scratch. We're using the assembly line of Maserati, but get all these robots out of here, and build, an old mechanical watch, a car.
Yeah, I like it. I dig it. That's hot.
Boom. Thank you so much for watching. Sometimes I think my asshole, my mouth gets switched. And that's why I have trouble articulating. Because I make fart noises instead of speaking. Are you all right?
No, I'm not.
You want to kiss me right now?
No, that's what I'm like thinking. It's awful.
You want to kiss my butthole now?
I would still love you.
Hopefully that gets edited out. But.
Don't say but.
Anywho.
Yeah.